Stacey Toby started a writing career in the small confines of her diary when she was 13 years old. With the encouragement of two high school teachers, she began writing short stories and poetry. When her youngest child started elementary school, she went back to school and received the degree that she had always dreamt about attaining. She received a degree in English, emphasis in creative writing. After graduating, she published several short stories and a few poems. During this time, she began writing what she thought was another short story, but the story never seemed to come to an end. As the story continued to write itself, she discovered that she was actually writing her very first novel, and God Bless My Broken Road was born. And on today's episode of Auto Interview, it's my utmost pleasure and joy to have on the show today, Stacey Toby. How are you doing, Stacey?
I'm doing really well, Peter. Oh my gosh, we having a beautiful day here in Kansas, where I live. Spring's on its way, and it's summer's my
Oh,
favorite season. So I'm counting the days down until
that's
summer.
amazing. Yeah, it's lovely actually to have you today. I'm quite excited. We'll be having a conversation around your works.
Yes, I have 5 books out now. I'm working on my sixth.
Wow,
It's actually completed, but it's in the editing process right now, so it's the
mm,
very early stages. But I'm excited about it. And
that's
of course, I
great.
have works that I've scribbled down that I'm hoping to work on eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Stacey, I see that you have a large body of work out there, but I would like us to start the conversation with your first novel, God Bless My Broken Road. And I would like to ask you, what inspired you to write God Bless My Broken Road? And what should people expect to learn from reading the book or from reading any of your works entirely?
Yeah, this is God Bless My Broken Road, and I
Beautiful
just love the
cover.
cover. I thought it was just beautiful. My publisher did a very good job with it. And if you notice, there's a tree in the middle with the road.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lightning bolt. You can't see the lightning bolt, but it's hitting the tree, kind of splitting the tree. And that represents kind of part that part in the broken road where we have a life-altering event. I think all of us experience as humans life-altering events that kind of stop us
Absolutely.
in our tracks.
Yeah.
And we have to get back on that road again and continue on with our lives. So that's what God Bless My Broken Road is about. It's actually based on the story of my husband and I and how we met.
Oh.
But it's a piece of fiction, so there's a lot of fiction in it. Um, but it's about those broken roads that people travel um, to reach one another, and those obstacles in the way,
Mm.
life-altering events, and how um, and all my books, there's a sense of angels because I've always been
Oh.
very curious about angels and guardian angels, but not just I'm talking about the angels with wings. Well, I believe humans are also used as angels to come and help us in those times of dire need.
Yeah.
Um, my characters have people showing up to help them just out of the
Mm.
blue, getting them past that event that has altered their road.
Absolutely.
But God Bless My Broken Road is an inspiration for anyone walking a broken road that they don't feel
Mm.
that they can make it through.
Wow.
Um, and my two characters are Sarah and Ben. Sarah is very faithful, and she believes from the beginning that God
Mm.
still has a plan for her. They both go through a devastating divorce,
Oh.
and it's kind of the man and the women's view of how they deal with that, because the
Mm.
woman is trudging forward with a lot of faith, and the man uh, kind of closes off. He doesn't express his feelings to anyone, and he just kind of stops at that point and says,
Mm.
"I'm never doing this again," because
Wow.
because it ended so badly. But he doesn't. He kind of goes within himself and does not reach out for help.
Mm.
So it's kind of a different way men and women deal with these tragedies. And it also has a country and country farm life, small town
Oh.
aspect to it and big city. Because
Wow.
Sarah's from the city and Ben has grown up on a farm. And so there's
Wow.
a lot of imagery in God Bless My Broken Road about the farm life, if you've never experienced it, a small
Mm,
town life. And I dabble in poetry, so there's a little bit of poetry aspects in God Bless My Broken Road, because I think that helps anyone's writing, actually, if you dabble a little bit in poetry, because of the descriptions
yeah.
that can bring forth in your novel. So I love that aspect about God Bless My Broken Road, because it has like two different
Mm,
worlds. If you've never experienced a small town farm life, you will love God
oh,
Bless My Broken Road, because it really
wow.
takes you a deep dive into that life, into the hard work, into
Wow.
the slow down, and everything's not in a rush. But
Yeah.
so there's a lot of sub stories in God Bless My Broken Road that I think the audience or the readers would love to learn more about.
It's amazing, really. And I love your take on this. I love your description and, the short illustration
Oh,
of how the whole book came to be. Sounds quite lovely and captivating to me. So thank you for sharing. And, Stacy, you had
oh, you're very
stated,
welcome.
yeah, you had stated that your mother was an inspiration for your last novel, that's Soap Opera Digest. How so is this? Would you like to talk about that?
I sure would. Soap Opera Digest is my
Mm,
latest novel. It is a joy to read. It's actually a very fun read.
wow.
Um, it's about giving up on life. This my main character, Julia, being experience as a young girl in
Mm,
her early 20s, and she gives up on life. Uh, and then there is an aspect of an angel again coming back to lead her out of that. Um, but she becomes involved with the soap operas that she watches every day, vicariously through these characters that she watches on television.
mm,
I think a lot of people fall into that because of
mm.
these soap operas, or I would say reality TV probably today, that you live your life through these characters that you see on television, where it's not real. Instead of going out and living your life, and fulfilling your purpose,
Yeah.
you start living vicariously through these characters every day. And this is what my character Julia does,
Oh.
because she also went through a divorce, and she stops living. So
Wow.
this angel character comes back to help her to fulfill her dreams, which she's now set on a shelf. They're collecting dust, and she had big dreams. She had big dreams. She had big goals, and
Mm,
she hasn't seen those fulfilled yet. But she goes through a lot of life tragedies, as we all do. A lot of joy, but a lot of pain also, during her life. And she just kind of gives up. But this angel and also other characters that she meets during my novel help her move forward. Her best friend,
mm.
Lisa, who is also quite a character, pushes her to get out and enjoy life.
Oh.
And she's kind of pushed into it, but she takes off after that. So I won't divulge too much, but it's how she gets past that life altering experience, and she learns to live again, and fulfill her purpose, and fulfill her dreams and goals that she had shelved at one time in her life.
Wow.
Um, but it's also very, very comical. And so I think there's a lot of laughter and tears in Soap Opera Digest. Um,
Mm.
but I think the readers will find it a real joy to read.
Yeah, that's lovely, actually. And I love your description of those books. And, I love your illustration as well. And, your book actually sounds quite amazing. We've talked about two thus far, and it's quite compelling to me. And I want to say thank you, for going a bit.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I write to help people,
Mm,
and I find that people, yeah, do get lost in these um, reality TV shows or soap operas, and forget that they're not living their life. So I'm
Mm,
hoping that it will help someone out there who is
absolutely.
facing that challenges that are similar to Julia's.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, actually. I love the sound of it. Thank you. And now, Stacy, you also have a book titled Angels, Demons, and Mortals, The Guidance, Book One. For readers who haven't read it yet, and without giving much information away, could we have a sneak of what you would expect in terms of themes, picking up angels, demons, and mortals? And if you have a copy there, I'd love you to show it to the camera just so you can see what
Sure.
it looks like.
Well, yeah, what I think is amazing about my fantasy series is I never intended to write a fantasy series, uh, or one book, but let alone three books.
Wow.
I've always been fascinated, of course, I've expressed by guardian angels. I've always been
Mm,
fascinated by it. But I was always drawn to women's literature, and to write a fantasy series was not on my list. And
mm,
I sat down, actually, Stephanie Meyer of the Eclipse series was a big influence on my novels, because I
wow.
finished reading hers, and I thought, well, why couldn't guardian angels also be pictured as some type of superhero, or someone who that comes into the lives of to help people. And
Mm,
that's how Angels, Demons, and Mortals was born, with my fascination with guardian angels.
wow.
My grandmother had a photo which started this all off way back when I was very, very young.
Wow.
And I actually have the photo here on the wall. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to show you,
Oh
but
yeah. There you go. I can see.
it's an
Oh,
angel helping, and that's her actual. She gave it to
wow.
me before her death, and
Wow.
I had it framed. But it's an angel helping two children across a rickety bridge, the guardian angel helping them across the danger. And that always stuck in the back of my mind. It's like, what?
Oh.
I thought, I wonder if I have a guardian angel that's helping me. And there has been
Mm,
times in my life that I felt a presence, definitely, that helped me through that situation, that I probably would not be here today if they
wow.
had not intervened. And
Wow.
some of those experience, my own personal experiences, are in my one of my three books. Angels, Demons, and Mortals has several that I personally faced myself. And if
Wow.
I this presence hadn't intervened, I actually don't think I would be here today.
Wow.
So I included those in my novel. But that's what inspired the series. But I think it's just miraculous that I had no intention of writing a fantasy series. And here is three books. I'm actually
Mm,
going to be starting a fourth book soon, uh, to the series. So Angels, Demons, and Mortals is about the three different realms: the heavenly realm, the earthly realm, and the underworld. My main character, Michael, is a leader of the heavenly realm,
mm,
and all the guardian angels have assigned here. They're called assigned, and they're people on Earth that they're assigned to protect. And they go and they help them through these life altering experiences, and then they leave. They are not to get attached. They are not to stay.
mm,
But then in the book, there's a myth that there's one human that an angel is usually drawn to, and Michael's not sure he believes this, but then he gets an assigned Alexandria
mm,
from a small child, and for some reason he's drawn to her, and she makes him stronger as a guardian, without giving away too much. But it's how the
mm.
sub stories is how the relationship builds, Alexandria and Michael's. And then there's the aspect of the underworld, Canaan. He's one of the leaders of the underworld, and he's actually a fallen angel,
Wow.
and actually was Michael's best friend before he fell. So they have a very unique relationship, because it's good and evil. But these sub stories of Michael and Canaan's relationship
Mm,
as best friends, former best friends, they have, they deal with that on a different level, because they were friends at one time.
mm,
Um, and then you have Alexandria and Michael's relationship also as a sub story. But it's about how the underworld is continually attacking the human realm, and how the
Wow.
guardians are there to protect us. And
Interesting.
then it's about, of course, Michael and Alexandria's relationship as they build it in these uncertain times, as far as they don't know what this relationship is,
Wow.
or where it's going because of their different realms. But
Yeah. I love your take on that, actually. And your description sounds quite realistic to me. And your answer to that want to make me to ask you a particular question that just popped up in my head. And let's talk about your inspirations and ideas. You've written quite a lot of books, and I've always been surprised about how writers sit down and craft sentences that make paragraphs, that make pages, that make sharp text, and eventual one book, two book, three book, another one. And it's just so amazing to me. Like, how did you get the inspirations and ideas to put all these words together? It gets me asking, how exactly did they do it? Now, being someone who has written quite a lot, I'd love to ask you too, as far as writing is concerned, how do you get the inspirations and ideas for your work entirely, your work in general? Where did they come from?
it comes from a gift. I mean, I think my gift is writing.
Wow.
And I fought it actually, because I went into college early as a young woman, and thought there's no way I'm going to make a living at this. So why would I pursue it? And I got lost a little bit,
Wow.
and I fought my gift. Then I went back to school later, uh, uh, because I couldn't get away from writing.
Hmm.
Even as I was raising a family, I was writing poetry, I was writing short stories, and just because I loved it.
Wow.
And poetry was a way to deal with things I didn't understand, tragedies in the world that I didn't
Hmm.
understand, that would
Yeah.
just kind of bleed out of me in poetry. Um, and I did a lot of that during that time, and short stories. Um, but then I finally, when you come to a point in your life, it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? and
Hmm.
uh, and what do I love? And for some reason, I've always loved writing. And again, yeah,
Hmm.
you mentioned those teachers are very important, I think, in students' lives. I mean, I'm sure there's good and bad, but
Yeah.
my experience has been those were the ones who pushed me, who
Hmm.
said, I think you have a talent at this. And had they not said that, I'm not
Hmm.
sure I would be where I'm at today as far
Absolutely.
as my writing. But I think it's just something you love. It's your gift. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
has a gift.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not just one gift, but there's other gifts that
Sure.
I had that I did not take advantage of. But
Oh.
writing, I was determined. I was determined to do. So I went back and got my degree because they taught me things I thought I knew that I really didn't know.
Hmm.
and
Wow.
and it made me even a better writer. And again, at the universities, there were people that inspired me and pushed me to go
That's
further.
amazing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. And I like the fact that you mentioned that poetry is a way to deal with the tragedies, you do not understand, the things you do not understand. And that's quite amazing. That stood with me, even as a poet, it's beautiful to hear that from you. Thank you. And
Oh, you're
yeah. And now I'd also love to say that the Guiding Book series has such arrays of interesting and captivating titles, following from angels, demons, and mortals. And without giving much information away, could we have a sneak of what I'd
sure.
expect picking up at Hell's Gate? If you have a copy there too, I'd love you to show to the
I
camera.
do. I do. And I love this
Beautiful.
cover. But it's at Hell's Gate, and the saga continues. And actually, we have a reversal in this book, which I think readers will
Wow.
find maybe a little irritating. Where Michael actually falls to the underworld, trying to save Alexandria.
Hmm.
And so it's the guardian angels fight to get him back. they actually have to go through the gates of hell.
Mm.
So I won't give too much away, but Alexandria has a big role in getting Michael back, a human. So I think readers will find that very interesting, as she has to travel through different realms, and she goes actually to all three. So in order to save Michael, who she loves dearly. So I won't give too much away, but it's a large fight. Angels are tempted, humans are tempted, and you just never know who's going to fall, who's going to make it back. So Hell's Gate is a great battle. Again,
Wow.
with the sub story of you have
Yeah.
Michael and Cain, and Kanan's assistant Lilith, who also has a big role in the novels. Lilith has an attachment to Michael because of his goodness. But I won't
Wow.
give too much away, but it's these different small battles throughout the novel. And you'll have to just wait for the outcome. But there's a lot of movement action in Hell's Gate, which I think the
Wow.
readers will find very, exhilarating, very especially if you're an action person. And then so you have that action, and you have the romance, and you have the
Mm.
battles.
Mm.
So it has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I love the sound of it. Thank you. And I love the description and the cover of the book itself. It looks beautiful. Yeah,
I
thank
do
you.
too. I
Yeah,
was very, very drawn to those.
yeah, it is. And now, Stacy, if you had to pick a favorite character from your work, who would it be and why? Also, is there a character that you do not like in your book? Would you like to talk about that? I know it's a bit hilarious.
I would, and I think it's funny that they're both from my fantasy series, but
Wow.
Kanan, who is the uh antagonist,
Yeah.
and was so fun to write. I had not written an evil character
Wow.
before, and it's funny, weird how my mind went, because I'm not that type to write that, but it did come pretty
Mm.
naturally. But Kanan is a unique character because he struggles so much with his decision. He
Wow.
he he wanting to be a leader, and got the best of him. His need to be a leader, and that's how he fell to the underworld. But he so yearns for that relationship that he had, the best friend with Michael, with the
Wow.
relationships he had with the guardians, because in
Oh.
the underworld is everyone is out to get everyone, and you don't know. I mean, that's why they keep losing, because everyone's out to get everyone else, and he can't trust anyone. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he battles with his decision. And it's just that relationship between him and Michael, you can see the agony of
Mm.
his decision every time he comes in contact with the Guardians, because
Wow.
he's fighting, because he's so I would say regretting um, his decision.
Wow.
Um, and he's very humorous, and ornery, I guess I would say. And he brings a lot of comic and laughter between in the novel. Um,
Mm.
so he's probably one of my favorite characters.
Wow.
Um, and the one I struggled with the most was Micah, who was another guardian, who
Oh.
actually is tempted later on. I won't give too much away, but he's very young, and he doesn't take the advice of elders very well. So
Wow.
he kind of travels his own road, and it leads to his uh, fall.
Mm.
So I just struggled with him because he's just um, the character is very irritating, because he gets good advice, but he doesn't take it.
Wow.
And we all know people, especially when we were all young, and we all, you know, made bad decisions.
Yeah.
But that's where he's at in his life right now. So it was kind of a struggle, not a struggle. Because I know people, and I was that person as a young person, making those bad
Oh,
decisions. So
wow.
he's probably the one I struggled with the most.
Wow. Well, I think it's a very fun question to ask authors who their favorite character and, who the one they hate, because knowing that they created the characters themselves, it's a very tricky and very funny question asking, which one do you love? Which one do you hate? Why knowing that they created everything, both the lovely one and the hateful one themselves? So
Yeah.
I love the fact it's nice to hear your take on this particular hilarious question, I'd call it. Yeah, so it's
Right.
quite fun to hear your take on it.
Yes, yeah. Well, my characters are usually all people that I've known, people I've
Oh,
met, people I've come across, even people I've seen on movies or television. Because in order to write that
interesting.
character realistically, you have to know how they're going to react to a certain situation, and they have to react
Absolutely.
differently than
Yeah.
any other character. So you have to know them,
Yeah.
and so they're if I know you, you might be a character in my book.
Yeah.
Because it helps me to write the character because I have to know them. I have to know the
Hmm.
reaction to different situations,
Absolutely.
and that's how I develop my characters.
That's nice. That's amazing. Now, Stacey, apart from the books we've mentioned thus far, do you have any other works you've authored or currently working on?
I do. I have a book coming out. Again, it's just in the editing stages, but it's called Operation Lucky Charm, and it's a women's literature or book club book. Beginning again, I said most of my novels, I has that angel aspect, but it's about my two main characters, Marissa and Matt,
Hmm.
and it came from my stem of my love. I love to watch football during football season, and so it has
Wow.
my main character is a quarterback. So I'm hoping that my male readers will be drawn to to the football aspect. But he's not what you would call successful. He is
Hmm.
in the NFL, which is the top league here.
Hmm.
Um, but he struggles because of his past.
Oh.
Um, he has come out of foster care, was abandoned as a young boy. So he struggles with that. He struggles to realize that he is a leader. So that's what his guardians are there to help him through, to get him to
Hmm.
that place he's supposed to do great things. And he
Wow.
meets Marissa, who also struggles from abandonment of her father,
Oh.
and
Wow.
she's just starting out in her life, and she wants nothing to do with any type of uh, sportsmen,
Hmm.
because of their history,
Wow.
or so she wants nothing to do with him. Uh, so it's their story and how they learn to move forward, learn to trust. Is what they learn to
That's
trust again.
interesting. Yeah.
Um, so I'm hoping that will come out soon, but it's just in the beginning stages of
Yeah. That's
editing. So
that's
I'm looking
beautiful.
forward to it.
I look forward to it too. That's beautiful. And I hope that goes on successfully. That's great. Now, could you tell us what publishing is like for a published author like yourself? Are there any challenges you've encountered in the process of writing these books and also ever since it got published?
Oh yes, many many challenges. You have to really develop thick skin
Yeah,
as an author, because you're constantly in negative feedback, reviews.
yeah,
I mean, and not everyone, you have to realize not everyone is going to love your work. You have to realize
absolutely.
that it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You have to find those readers. And that took me a long time to realize that in
Hmm.
submitting my work, my short stories and my poetry, because certain submissions would love my work, and some I never got a response from. So it's very hard for authors to move forward. You have to really love it to stick with it. As far as publishing, I would say submit, and submit again. Find that publisher or agent that believes in your work. Because that's who's going to fight for you. But if you believe in your work, I mean, please continue with it and find those readers who also believe in your work.
Absolutely.
But I think it's just a thing of persistence. And of course, a love of what you do. You have to have that. Otherwise, you won't go forward. I mean, because there's just so many obstacles facing us, and it's a tough job. I mean,
it is.
It's a great job, but it's tough. So my recommendation was say stick with it and don't give up.
That's amazing. I love your take on this, and I love your eventual advice as to don't give up. That's beautiful to know. And now, Stacey, just so we have some people who are currently watching this conversation and would love to get a copy of your books, on what platform are they available on for purchase?
Yes, they're available on Amazon. Barnes & Noble carries my God Bless My Broken Road and Soap Opera Digest. The fantasy series can be found only on Amazon.
Beautiful.
They are ebooks also. If you're an ebook reader, you can get a copy of ebook. My website, which is my name, staceytoby.com. So it's very easy. Well, you have to know my spelling of my last name, which I know Peter and I have gotten to the discussion because it's the THOWE, but it is pronounced Toby.
Toby.
So it's my name, staceytoby, all one word.com. If you go to www.staceytoby.com, all my work is there. I have some short stories posted there. So if you get a chance, and I have a new newsletter I'm just sending out. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter, there's a lot of background information on my inspiration of my novels. And we're hopefully going to be promoting other authors. So if you're an author, reach out to me so we can give you a shout out on my newsletter. But yeah, my website is just my name.com.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I left a link in the description part of this interview where interested viewers can get a copy of Stacey Toll's books directly on Amazon, on our website, and also on the platform. So thank you so much, Stacey, for accepting the invitation to be featured on P English Literature. It's awesome having this conversation with you.
Oh, thank you so much, Peter. And thank you so much for what you do for authors. It's just so hard to find avenues to get our work out on. So I so appreciate you giving us this opportunity to do that. Your work means more than you know. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. That's quite encouraging. Thank you. That was